Hi friends, welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going to address a very important question that whether the book list given in the RBI Grade B notification itself is of any use or is it total crap? क्या वो पढ़नी भी चाहिए या नहीं पढ़नी चाहिए? वो आपके कितने काम की है? All this we are going to discuss in this video. Now, since this book list is given by RBI itself, we can't give a verdict as such, so it's better to analyze it, right, to reach any conclusion. So we need to analyze the usefulness of these books on two parameters mainly. One is relevance, कि ये book आपके exam, your objective is to clear the exam, that how much relevant these books are for your exam, how much they will help you to clear your exam. And second is comprehensiveness, that whether after reading these books your end-to-end preparation is done or you need other things to complete your preparation. On the basis of these two parameters, we can judge that what is the usefulness of these books for your preparation. So let's start with finance itself. So अगर आप फाइनेंस का रेफरेंस मटेरियल देखेंगे जो कि आरबीआई ग्रेड बी की नोटिफिकेशन में मेंशन्ड है, वो ये वाला है. नाउ दिस लिस्ट इज प्रीटी बिग एंड इस लिस्ट को देखकर मेरे दिमाग में एक ही थॉट आ रहा है कि ये लिस्ट क्रैप है भी और नहीं भी. इट इज काइंड ऑफ क्रैप और नॉट दैट यूजफुल इन द सेंस, बिकॉज इफ यू try to analyze the amount of effort that you would have to put in to read these books and the output that you would get in terms of score in the exam, these books are not that useful. But these books are very useful in terms of your knowledge, your intellect, the things that an RBI Grade B officer should know in the longer term. But हम एक short term objective की बात करें तो books like Monetary Theory and Public Policy by Kenneth Kuriara, I think that much is not required. It's very detailed. I don't think you even need to read 10% of this book if you want to prepare for syllabus of RBI Grade B. Indian Economy by Misha and Puri, that can be read, but I think as its alternative, I would suggest Indian Economy by Ramesh Singh. It's easier to understand. Misha and Puri might have more clarity on the concepts, but I think since again your finance paper or economics paper is not having that much in-depth questions that are asked in your exam, you can read Indian Economy by Ramesh Singh, because in finance there are two chapters, inflation and fiscal policy and monetary policy, which can be done well if you read that Indian Economy book by Ramesh Singh. So I am not in favor of reading Misha and Puri. Then Economic Growth and Development, Mayer and Baldwin. Economic Growth and Development is not at all in your syllabus for finance, so this book is not required. Financial Management, Prasanna Chandra, again, it might help you understand the basics of time value of money or bonds, but it contains all the topics, most of which, 90% of which are not at all in your RBI Grade B syllabus. So in a sense, I would say the first 4 books in your reference material are not much useful for you. Then major financial newspapers, yes, this is relevant. They put a lot of questions on current affairs. So here I would say Live Mint and maybe Business Line are good financial newspapers to read. You can follow one, for example, Live Mint. Then International Business by Hill and Jen. Frankly speaking, I've never seen this book even, so I might not be able to comment, but I've never felt the need, because जो आपका syllabus है, I'm sure वो इस book में नहीं होगा. Then RBI Annual Report on Trend and Progress of Banking in India. These are relevant. You must read them. It will give you important data and analytics on Indian banking sector, which anyways you need to know for your exam. Economic Survey, important. Major material source from RBI website, again important, especially the FAQs and the RBI notifications. So part of it is useful. Mainly I would say the one which is not related to static knowledge, right? Economic Survey, financial newspapers और RBI website. तो ये अच्छा है, आप इसको पढ़ें. But apart from that, I don't see much relevance in other sources. As an alternative, I would suggest Practices and Principles and Practices of Banking by Macmillan Education and Bank Financial Management by Macmillan Education to cover your finance syllabus to some extent. The entire syllabus cannot be covered even from these books, and there are some topics in your finance syllabus like fiscal policy, union budget, monetary policy, that can be read by Indian economy by Ramesh Singh, right? Similarly in management, again ये crap है और नहीं भी है. Again crap in terms of if you see the effort that you would have to put in to read these books and the value that you would get in terms of marks. I mean, there is a huge mismatch. तो स्टीफन पी रॉबिन्स मैनेजमेंट की बुक अच्छी है, बट आई वुड नॉट रिकमेंड सिंस इज अ फॉरेन ऑथर एंड क्वेश्चंस आर मोर और लेस इन द इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट. ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल बिहेवियर की भी स्टीफन पी रॉबिन्स अच्छी है. इफ यू वांट टू रीड यू कैन रीड इट फॉर डिस्क्रिप्टिव, बट अगेन as a basic book I would recommend Principles and Practices of Management and Organizational Behavior, both by L.M. Prasad. ठीक है, तो maybe this book is useful to some extent. Let's circle it out. But human resource management books, the third and fourth, are not at all useful because HRD or HRM is not in your syllabus now. Then on ethics itself, they have given you 4 books. This is on concepts and cases. They are not asking you to that level in the exam. I think this is mainly for UPSC aspirants or as such, where ethics is asked in more depth, not required. Business ethics and Indian perspective. Again, it can be read, but I would suggest B. N. Ghosh, Business Ethics and Corporate Governance, this one as a better alternative, right? And Crane Andrew and Metten Dick, Business Ethics, again very detailed and not much in an Indian context. I would not suggest this book. Again, the book list here I would say is more oriented towards foreign author, though we have many good Indian authors available, and reading their books will help you prepare कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली फॉर योर आरबीआई ग्रेड बी एग्जाम. तो मुश्किल क्यों पढ़ना है, ज्यादा क्यों पढ़ना है, इरेलेवेंट क्यों पढ़ना है जब उससे मार्क्स नहीं आएंगे. बट अदरवाइज यस, इन अ लॉन्गर टर्म आई थिंक वंस यू एन आरबीआई ग्रेड बी ऑफिसर यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड मैनेजमेंट फ्रॉम अ बेटर पर्सपेक्टिव और एथिक्स फ्रॉम अ बेटर पर्सपेक्टिव, देन यू कैन ऑलवेज रीड दिस बुक्स. Similarly for economics guys, they mentioned lots of books. Uma Kapila, Misha Puri, right? Then on growth and development itself, they mentioned Devraj Ray. So growth and development is just one chapter. I would not recommend कि आप इसके लिए पूरी book पढ़ें. Again, as an economist, you can read, but it's not that relevant for your exam. Objective exam clear करना है, then I would say कि ये crap है इस book को पढ़ना. ठीक है. So I would instead recommend again Indian Economy by Ramesh Singh, but anyways, Misha and Puri can be read. Many people read it. That depends upon your perspective. For sociology, C.N. Shankar Rao is good, or you can refer Social Problems in India by Ram Hoja. And any of these can do. Public finance, K.K. Endley and Sundaram, I would not recommend that. This would be like doing too much for your economics paper or ESI paper. This is ESI, economics and ESI, right? Because again, the exam is more current oriented. तो इतना स्टैटिक थ्योरी पढ़कर कंसेप्ट समझकर यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू गेन एनी वैल्यू, दो शायद इंटरव्यू में आपको थोड़ा एज दे दे. ये बहुत जरूरी है. न्यूज़पेपर्स, मिंट, बिजनेस लाइन एंड आई वुड से हिंदू आल्सो, एंड पीआईबी वेबसाइट व्हिच इज नॉट मेंशन्ड हियर. लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आर आस्क्ड फ्रॉम इट. Then in the magazines or bulletins, they mentioned Economic and Political Weekly, India Today, RBI bulletins. Do read them. They're very, very important for interview and to learn that आर्ट ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन इन डिस्क्रिप्टिव राइटिंग. ठीक है, बाकी ये रिपोर्ट सारी इंपॉर्टेंट है. वर्ल्ड डेवलपमेंट रिपोर्ट, इकोनॉमिक सर्वे, आरबीआई एनुअल रिपोर्ट, रिपोर्ट ऑन ट्रेंड एंड प्रोग्रेस ऑफ बैंकिंग इन इंडिया एंड वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. एंड मटेरियल सोर्स फ्रॉम आरबीआई वेबसाइट. सो हेयर अगेन मेनली द सोर्सेज विच आर पॉइंटिंग टुवर्ड्स करंट अफेयर्स और रिपोर्ट्स और बुलेटिन्स दैट आर इंपॉर्टेंट एंड नॉट द बुक्स. ठीक है, सो दैट वाज इन ब्रीफ अबाउट द रेलेवेंस ऑफ द रेफरेंस books or the material that is given in the RBI notification. So according to me, if I try to summarize, the reference material which is related to current affairs is useful. You should read it, but the books mentioned for static part, I think they are too much and mainly by foreign authors. Try to read Indian authors and don't read too much. It is not going to give you a good value for your effort because exam alag tarah ka hai. Next parameter is comprehensiveness. अब किसी भी एग्जाम के लिए इफ वी आर रिलाइंग ऑन बुक्स, इट शैल गिव अस दैट कॉन्फिडेंस, 100% श्योरिटी कि ये बुक्स पढ़ के ही मेरा सारा सिलेबस कवर हो जाएगा, राइट? सो लेट्स नॉट गेट इनटू के बुक्स में कौन सा सिलेबस का पार्ट कवर्ड है या नहीं है. थोड़ा बहुत मिसिंग होगा, बट एनीवेज यू कैन कवर दैट फ्रॉम गूगल. बट आई वांट टू स्ट्रेस अपॉन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्ट कि 5 things which you will not get in any book list that is mentioned by RBI. Right. First is right guidance and strategy. तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू शुड हैव मेंटर्स. कुछ लोगों से आप जुड़ें जो आपको मेंटोर कर सकते हैं, आइदर सेलेक्टेड इन आरबीआई और दोज हु हैव रीच्ड द इंटरव्यू फेज. ये बहुत ज़रूरी है बिकॉज हैविंग दैट बुक्स इज़ वेरी इजी, बट टू नो that what is important in that book, which chapters to read, till how much depth you have to read every chapter, every page, every line, that will come only with right guidance, strategy and your own experience. तो ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. Next is short notes, mind maps for recall. Your exam is subjective also along with objective. So many a times I've seen students, they understand all the concepts but they're not able to recall things. आपके साथ भी होता होगा. They're not able to recall the points, the keywords when they are writing the answers. तो उसके लिए you need to have some short notes, mind maps which you can revise quickly before your exam or whenever you want to attempt descriptive writing. ठीक है, तो ऐसा कुछ होना चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से. आप ऐसा बनाएं जैसे हम ये चीज़ें देते हैं अपने कोर्स में. वी गिव माइंड मैप्स वेयर एवरीथिंग इज लिंक्ड इन विजुअल मैनर so that you can form visual linkages. The whole of the chapter is summarized within 7 to 8 pages through a lot of linkages, diagrams, examples. तो इसको बार बार रिवाइज करने से क्या होता है, you get that basically रिकॉल पार के आपको एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन देखते ही वो 10 पॉइंट याद आ जाते. तो ऐसा कुछ जरूर बनाएं, रफ नोट्स या माइंड मैप्स विच यू कैन यूज फॉर रिवीजन, वेरी क्विक रिवीजन. देन एमसीक्यूज, दिस इज समथिंग विच पीपल टेंड टू इग्नोर. दे आर अफ्रेड ऑफ टेस्टिंग देमसेल्व्स. पढ़ते रहेंगे बट ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड हियर मोर नॉलेज डज नॉट मीन मोर मार्क्स. योर नॉलेज विल लीड टू मार्क्स ओनली इफ यू learn that art of application of knowledge. Questions will be confusing in the exam no matter what. वो वन लाइनर नहीं आने वाले हैं सारे. And that art of application you will learn by doing thousands of MCQs. That art of guessing, that art of developing intuition towards an answer, you will learn by solving a lot of MCQs. That art of handling pressure, either in terms of time or either in terms of stress, the art of that time management, all this you will learn by solving thousands of MCQs. I would say solve at least 10,000, 15,000 MCQs before you appear in phase 1. ठीक है, phase 1, phase 2 मिला के 10-15,000 MCQs करो so that you get used to it so much. Then evaluation and feedback for descriptive writing. ये बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है guys. वैसे तो हम लोग लिखते नहीं हैं. दोज हु राइट रेगुलरली दे आर ऑल्सो राइटिंग. टू एन एक्सटेंट दे विल इम्प्रूव, बट यू नीड टू गेट इवेल्युएशन एंड फीडबैक ऑन कॉन्सिस्टेंट बेसिस सो दैट यू नो व्हाट आर द कॉमन मिस्टेक्स दैट यू आर मेकिंग. तो ये ज़रूर करें. ठीक है, जो लोग एड्यूटैप में हमारे कोर्स में एनरोल्ड हैं, दे ऑलरेडी हैव लॉट ऑफ टेस्ट टू गिव. यू आर नॉट गिविंग दोज टेस्ट, प्लीज गिव देम. Otherwise, take help of some mentors, some people who are good in English, who have given UPSC or something. Ask them to evaluate your copies and give feedback. That is the only source of improvement, not writing daily. That's the first stage. But the next stage is get it evaluated and get feedback and then improve. And then interview prep. ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. Many people do not think about this. This is worth 75 marks. I would say this is your 4th paper after paper 1, paper 2 and paper 3 in your RBI Grade B. And the variation in interview marks is so huge. किसी को 7 marks भी मिल रहे हैं, किसी को 70 भी मिल रहे हैं. See the variation. So I think this cannot be taken lightly. You need to prepare right away for your interview, at least in terms of speaking, in terms of expression, in terms of confidence. Just stand in front of the mirror and speak for 5 minutes, 10 minutes daily. Learn to express yourself. Learn to have some kind of a subtle smile on your face so that you can impress themselves. तो ये बहुत ज़रूरी चीज़ें हैं जो आप मिस कर रहे हैं, even if you are following that book list that is given by RBI Grade B. So guys, hope I am able to guide you in the right direction. ठीक है, RBI के book list वैसे crap नहीं है. All these are very good books, but in terms of our objective to clear the exam, आई वुड नॉट से कि ये बुक्स बहुत रेलेवेंट हैं. थोड़ा आपको रीथिंक करना पड़ेगा अगर आप ये बुक्स पढ़ रहे हैं, दैट हाउ कैन यू बेस्ट चैनलाइज योर एनर्जी एंड टाइम इनटू समथिंग फ्रूटफुल. बाय बाय, हैव अ नाइस डे.